Hello, my name is James Tew, and today we're going to be discussing sound and file formats. In this presentation, I'm going to discuss different sound files and methods of making sound in an attempt to educate you on the subject. Foley artistry. Foley artistry is the recreation of everyday sounds, i.e. footsteps, opening doors, and breaking bones using random assortments of items, giving the media more atmosphere and is an attempt to make the audience feel more immersed. This is using stuff like fruit and vegetables or pens in order to create more realistic sounds within your game or media. The advantages is you can exaggerate sounds to give them more impact, and Foley sounds are more cost effective, meaning that it is cheaper to produce them. The disadvantages is you have to perfectly align the audio with the Foley sounds, so it's a lot more difficult to do. Sound libraries are a collection of sounds and recordings for use by composers or performers, and they are little sound files that are used to create larger projects like music or sound effects. Let's go too far. Sound file formats, one is WAV, which is commonly used in Microsoft devices, is the main type for most Windows computers and is an uncompressed audio file. AIFF is the Apple equivalent of the WAV file, so you find it on most Apple systems and is based of the Electronic Arts interchanging file type, is usually uncompressed as well. More sound file formats. AU, it's a simple audio file type first seen in Sun Microsystems. File type was common on NEC systems, and originally it was headerless. It is an 8-bit encoded data at 100 Hz sample size. MP3 is probably the most common one nowadays, and probably the one that most people know. And it's a way of compressing a sound file into a very small file size while still being able to keep that original sound quality. Sound compression. Compression is the method of making a file size smaller in size, and is useful as it lowers the amount of resources needed to store and move the file. Audio compression is usually separated into two types, which are lossy and lossless, and both use several different methods to reduce the amount of information that is used to show the uncompressed data or audio. Uncompressed and lossless compression. Uncompressing is returning a compressed file back into its original state, and this usually happens with when you download software from the internet. You get a compressed file and it uncompresses when you click it. Lossless compression. Lossless compression is a sort of file compression that lets the original file be remade from the compressed file. Mono and stereo. Mono has audio in a single channel and is also known as monophonic sound reproduction. It's good for people who are like deaf in one ear, because you can just send the sound to one side of an earphone instead of both sides. And it's easy to record because it only requires basic equipment. Stereo is sound from multiple directions, and it's quite expensive for recording and reproducing sounds, and it requires a lot of technical knowledge and skill to record. Plugins. A plugin is a software part that adds a feature to a computer program. When a program supports plugins, it means it has enabled customization, so you can add different things to it, such as web browsers. Sometimes you'll download something, it'll give you like a new search bar, or it'll change the way your search engine works. A well-known plugin is Adobe Flash Player, which is used in most Flash games on the internet. MIDI keyboard. A MIDI keyboard is a user interface that is often used for sending MIDI signals via a USB or MIDI cable to other appliances that use the same or a similar interface. A sound processor unit. A sound processor unit is or a sound card is a plugin that can play back or record sound of both digital or MIDI signals. Digital sound processor. A digital sound processor is specialized and has been optimized for needs of digital sound processing. A DSP used in special memory builds that can fetch multiple instructions or data at one time. A random access memory is a type of computer storage, and it basically runs most of the computer. Random access memory allows data to be read or written in almost the same amount of time, regardless of the location of the data in the memory. With other direct access storage media like hard disks or CD RWs, the time it takes to read and write varies a lot depending on the location of the recordings due to limitations such as media rotation speeds. Surround sound. Surround sound is a form of improving the sound reproduction quality of audio with more sound channels from speakers that surround the person. So you'll have a load of speakers like on the same sort of level horizontally, and it'll create the illusion that sound is coming from everywhere rather than just like coming from the thing that you're watching straight in front of you. Pulse code modulation. Pulse code modulation is a method used digitally to show sampled signals. It is the regular form of digital audio in computers, compact discs, and digital telephony. Compact discs, or CDs, they are optical disc storage, and they were originally created for storing and playing sound recordings, however was changed to be used for storing data. Digital mini disc. The mini disc is another optical disc-based storage system, and it can hold up to 1 GB of HIMD data. The mini disc was introduced by Sony in 1992 and was majorly popular in Japan. Analog and digital. Analog signals can vary in frequency, amplitude, or both, and are usually used in FM and AM radio signals. And their frequency line is usually very free-flowing and curvy, whereas digital, they're pulses rather than waves, and the pulses consist of two types, on and off, and are usually in DAB radio systems, and their frequency lines are quite blocky, and they look a bit like stairs sort of thing, going up and down. I hope you have enjoyed this PowerPoint presentation, and I hope you have gained a lot of knowledge on the subject of sound and file formats, and I hope this presentation has shown you that I have the skills necessary for the job and that I have the potential to take this company higher.